My name is Isaac. I'm nearing 55 and about to remarry. It's not my first marriage, though. I used to live with my wife and children until a few years ago. My wife passed away, and my children became independent and got married. I've been spending my lonely remaining years. I had been carrying the weight of my late wife, but then I met Maya. We became involved through work, and I believe it was truly fateful encounter. I may be almost 2 decades older, but Maya, who understood the pain I was going through after the loss of my wife, was there for me, offering comfort and support. Unknown to me, my heart gradually found itself drawn to Maya's presence. Encouraged by our children, I mustered the courage to confess my feelings to Maya. To my delight, Maya warmly embraced my feelings and accepted them wholeheartedly. I'm certain that my late wife wouldn't have wanted me to lead a sorrowful life, constantly dwelling on her memory. Hence, in order to move forward, I made the decision to marry once again with Maya. Maya possesses a remarkable personality, honest, humble, and flawless in every way. She works as an office clerk at a certain company. I've heard that she is diligent in her job and highly respected by those around her. That's why never in my wildest imagination did I think that Maya would be scheming something like that. Why did I only realize it now? I was devastated, blaming myself for not noticing earlier, and now I was about to embark on the worst wedding ceremony. Shortly after getting engaged, Maya and I went together to the wedding venue. I had already gone through a wedding ceremony once with my late wife, but this was Maya's first marriage experience. She expressed a strong desire to have a wedding ceremony, and I didn't oppose it. I wanted to fulfill as many of Maya's wishes as possible.
What should we do? It seems like the price will increase significantly if we add this option.
Maya furrowed her brow while looking at the proposed plan from the wedding planner. In response, I gently smiled at Maya. Maya, you don't have to worry about the money. You're the belle of the ball, so just do things the way you want to. As soon as she heard those words, Maya's face instantly brightened up and she thanked me graciously. If I can see Maya looking so happy like this, it's not a problem even if the wedding expenses are slightly high. Maya is still in her early 30s, but I'm already 55. With a decent position in savings. Considering how she has been encouraging me when I was feeling down, the cost of the wedding is nothing compared to that. And so, despite some ups and downs, the wedding preparations continued smoothly. Maya expressed her desire to invite not only friends and relatives, but also colleagues, subordinates, and superiors from her company, aiming for a grand celebration. On the other hand, considering that I already had a wedding ceremony once, I decided to only invite those close family members and not acquaintances. To my delight, everyone gladly accepted the invitation and responded positively. As the wedding day approached steadily, I ended up encountering a shocking incident right here. One day, Maya contacted me saying she had to work overtime and would be coming home late. Since I was already at home, I thought of getting some sweet treats for Maya, who always works hard. I had also heard about a famous cake shop that had opened nearby, so I headed there immediately. However, on the opposite side of the road, I saw a familiar figure. It was Maya. Although Maya works in an office position with minimal public appearances, with no strict rules regarding hair color or nails, recently, she had been sporting a noticeable light brown hair color, including some highlights. I couldn't possibly mistake someone as important to me as Maya, so I was shocked to the core. What I saw was Maya walking arm in arm with an unknown man, appearing quite friendly. Despite claiming to work overtime, she had discarded her office uniform, wearing a short skirt with a revealing top that exposed a lot of her shoulders. Stunned, I followed Maya with my eyes, unable to utter a word. Then, Maya and the man disappeared into a street known for its hotels. In that moment, I snapped back to my senses and turned around, chasing after Maya. Despite knowing that I would hurt myself by prying further, I couldn't help but take action, and so I stepped into the red light district, a place that didn't suit me at all. There, I caught sight of Maya surrounded by several young men, smoking and conversing. It was a side of her that she had never shown in front of me. She had an unsettling smirk on her face as she laughed and chatted loudly with the men.
That bald old man is seriously disgusting. But, well, he gives me money and doesn't demand much in return. It's much easier to earn money this way than doing sugar daddy activities. It's really easy. Although it's slightly referring to me, those words were filled with feeling I didn't want to believe. However, Maya's next words became a revelation, and I was knocked out. That bald old man is going to cover the wedding expenses too. Of course, I'll just go through the motions. I plan to take all the wedding gifts and run away. If he continues to pursue me persistently, I'll report him to the police as a stalker.
Upon hearing those words, the men around her clapped and burst into laughter. Was this Maya's true nature? Did she approach me for the beginning, solely for money? It might be true. I'm 55 years old, and to Maya, I must have seemed like a fatherly figure due to the age gap. Deeply hurt by Maya's words, I tried to leave the place. However, I stopped in my tracks upon hearing unsettling words. Hey Maya, it's irrelevant, but make sure you fulfill your obligations, okay? You owe me quite a bit of money, and the interest has already piled up. Or how about we settle it now? You're behind on your payments. Startled by the mention of debts, I turned around. It seemed that the person who spoke just now was the man who had been arm in arm with Maya earlier. He had a menacing expression on his face and tattoos all over his body. I couldn't help but flinch. Then Maya said,
I know.
And she nodded. She entered the hotel with that man. In that brief moment, when I caught a glimpse of Maya's face, I thought that man might be Maya's cheating partner. From that point on, my heart was no longer at ease. Living with Maya, thoughts of infidelity and the wedding constantly plagued my mind. I couldn't forget that man's face, and my days became restless. As time passed, the wedding day arrived. Up until now, Maya hadn't shown any suspicious behavior towards me on the surface. However, she always met with those men on the days she claimed to work overtime. But I had no intention of letting her get away with it so easily. I wanted her to pay for mocking me. My love for Maya had already withered away. The wedding ceremony progressed smoothly. And now it was time for the reception. As Maya had declared, she had invited many guests. But I never imagined that it was all a part of a strategy to receive as much money as possible in gifts. I hadn't considered that when we decided on the wedding. Seeing Maya smiling and laughing beside me, seemingly acting, made her appear detestable. However, Maya was completely unaware of my turbulent state of mind.
Hi Zach, I'm so happy. Being able to marry you feels like a dream.
She had a blissful expression on her face. With a feeling indescribable, I let out a sigh. Oh yeah, feels like a dream. I muttered those words. For a while, things continued without any major incidents. Now, we have reached the scene where we show the memory sideshow. Normally, it would display the story of how Maya and I met, as well as messages from friends. However, I had prepared a little trick here. To everyone's surprise, what appeared on this large screen wasn't a happy video. It showed Maya, completely inhibited, enjoying physical activities with another man. Of course, it had sounds as well, causing murmurs to spread throughout the venue. When I glanced at Maya, Her face turned pale in a state of shock. She had a look of complete incomprehension, as if she didn't understand what was happening. The moment I saw that, I made up my mind, stood up, and took the microphone. This is her way of expressing love, everyone. She cheats on me with gangsters, calls me a bald old man, and treats me like an ATM. After this wedding, she plans to take the gift money from all of you and run away. She intends to use it to repay her own debts. Upon hearing this, Maya stood up and shot an angry stare towards me, and in an agitated tone, she said,
Wait, what does this mean? I didn't agree to any of this. It's impossible. Seriously, someone stop this video. Stop it.
However, the video continued playing. It was because I had requested the staff not to stop the video no matter what. Maya's embarrassing actions were now being witnessed not only by her friends but also by people from her company and family. She had a face on the verge of tears, and she glared at me intensely.
How long have you known about this? Even if you knew, this is going too far.
Saying that, Maya began to play the role of a tragic victim, seeking sympathy from those around her. Of course, I had my reasons for carrying out such thorough retaliation. The reason was, you stole the money that my ex-wife had saved. You used it without permission, and the person you used it with was the gangster, right? You spent money on him, repaid his debts, all using the inheritance of my ex-wife. Moreover, you even had it for our son. You took the money, didn't you? Upon hearing this, Maya trembled and her shoulders shook. The murmurs from the surrounding crowd grew louder. Some people even shouted at Maya demanding to tell the truth. In fact, leading up to this wedding day, I thoroughly investigated Maya's background. I hired a detective and successfully obtained that video. I also did my own research within my capabilities, and that's when I realized that my ex-wife's inheritance had been completely depleted. It was stored at home and Maya was the only one who had access to it. When I consulted the detective about this, he informed me that Maya had been seen providing financial support to the gangster. Immediately after that, I received a call from my son. He sounded extremely distressed. Dad, it seems like it's terminal cancer. I was honestly surprised when he said that. It seems that Maya had informed him about the terminal diagnosis I had received, and said that I needed advanced medical treatment which required a significant amount of money. Given that our son works for a well-known company and earns a good salary, it seems that memories of losing his mother to terminal cancer came rushing back to him. He gave Maya $3,000. When I heard that, I was overwhelmed with anger, thinking that she would even take advantage of my beloved child. I couldn't control myself. I was overwhelmed by a terrifying impulse and felt like I was losing control. But since I decided on revenge, I couldn't let it be discovered until this day. I quietly planned and schemed, ensuring not to be noticed. In a nutshell, I briefly explained the story. The entire audience in the venue seemed either horrified or furrowed their brows, staring at Maya intently. On the other hand, Maya, with embarrassing footage of herself continuously playing on the screen in the background, finally started shedding tears and begged for forgiveness.
Please stop. It's so embarrassing. I can't take it anymore. I apologize. Please.
As Maya deeply bowed her head, I couldn't accept such insincere apologies. I took a deep breath and spoke. On the days you said you were working overtime, you mentioned feeling strangely exhausted in the lower half of your body, didn't you? Well, for now, it's a fact that you were enjoying such shameful activities with that man, right? As I pointed to the footage, it showed Maya in an embarrassing position, expressing delight and mourning in pleasure. Perhaps due to my words, in the footage, Maya started crying loudly. Then, one of the guests raised her voice. Hey Maya, what the hell is going on here? inviting us to such a disgusting wedding. This sparked a series of criticism directed to Maya. Unable to endure it any longer, Maya lifted her face and sought help from her parents, who had an indescribable expression on their faces in the family seating area.
Dad, Mom, please do something. I'm going through such a horrible experience. Why are you just staying silent?
In response, Maya's father said, "Isaac, I will make sure my daughter is held accountable. I'm sorry." After those words, Maya's mother also deeply bowed her head, and both of them directed angry gazes at Maya. It was quite shocking for Maya that even her own parents sided with me. She collapsed there, losing consciousness. In the end, Maya exposed her true self, losing not only the trust and credibility of those around her, but also experiencing the worst day imaginable. Afterward, Maya was taken to a separate room by the staff, and those of us who remained quietly continued with the meal. Maya's parents are slightly older than me, but until the very end, they continued to apologize, feeling deeply sorry. And of course, we decided to return the wedding gifts to everyone. Naturally, the cost of the wedding, which was nearly $40,000, since there were no wedding gifts, became my and Maya's responsibility. However, since it was Maya's fault, we agreed that Maya would bear the entire $40,000 cost, leading to our divorce. Of course, in addition to that, I filed for compensation. In exchange for not dividing the assets, we agreed to reduce the compensation amount. And then, within a few days after the hellish wedding, someone came to visit me. When I stepped outside, there was that young gangster who was Maya's affair partner and unmistakably bald old man who appeared to be a seasoned senior member in that line of work for several decades. I was on guard, fearing that I might face some retaliation as a result of seeking revenge against Maya, who was involved with the gangster. However, the bald man's intentions were, "Our guy caused trouble. It was my fault for not supervising properly. Sorry, man, this is her retribution." Saying this, the bald man handed me an incredible amount of cash. Wondering what it meant, the bald man explained that the money was earned by Maya's cheating partner to take responsibility. After that, the two men left, and I decided not to interfere any further. It's terrifying to think about what might happen to that man, but I want no involvement with gangsters, so I choose to pretend not to know anything. As for Maya, it seems she's living an unbearable life. Besides being involved with a gangster, she had borrowed nearly $30,000 from suspicious moneylenders, and now her debt has more than doubled due to this incident. It's impossible for her to repay it, and she has been taken somewhere by someone. Therefore, no one, including me and Maya's acquaintances, knows anything anymore. One thing I can say is that Maya has thrown her own life into the garbage, and apart from her family and job, she had fallen into hell. Currently, I am living near my sons and daughter-in-law's house, thanks to their proposal out of concern for my well-being. It seems they wanted to ensure that they could respond promptly if anything were to happen to me. However, I didn't want to become a burden to their promising future, so I strive to maintain good health. For all the trouble Maya caused, I hope to provide full support when my grandchild is born.